Hello and welcome everybody to Woodbine Racing Live. Elisa Blow alongside Jeff Brad. As yesterday we celebrated our first Super Saturday of the meet, and we're hoping for a nice, relaxing Sunday. I mean, that was a busy day yesterday with the 11 races, and you know, for us, it takes some time to build up to 11. You know, keep it going throughout the day, and of course, the cool weather didn't help out very much either. But did we ever have some nice stakes on the program?
Yeah, we did, and thank you to all the great fans too. The handle was fantastic on yesterday's card, $9.3 million, up substantially from last year, which was great to see. And we pretty much had everything. You wanted some chalk? We had some chalk. You wanted the longest shot on the board? We had the longest shot on the board win a race as well. And in fact, so many handicappers were so sharp yesterday, all our carryovers, gone.
Yeah, I know. That's some pretty big news. Now, here we always like to show you kind of how the track played out, and we talked about this. We're only going to show you the main track, right? Because we just don't have enough turf races to really give that to you, but we're going to put something together, on maybe a weekly basis as far as that track is concerned, or those tracks are concerned. But the all-weather yesterday, I thought, once again, a pretty fair track. We had 4 speed winners, we had 2 stocking winners, 2 closing winners on the program. And the interesting thing too yesterday, when you take a look at that average win payout for all surfaces, was well over $20.
Yeah, well, that helps when you get a 70 to 1 shot to win a race. But the dynamic that stands out to me from yesterday is the fact that all the sprints went to speed horses and all the routes went to horses coming from off the pace. It was a really tricky day with the wind. I think the wind had a major impact on the times of races. For example, we're going to take a look at Old Chestnut here in a couple of seconds. Now, he was really good yesterday. There's no doubt about that. But he got helped out by a 7-furlong race in which he had a significant tailwind the entire way.
Well, he also got helped out by a significant scratch,
obviously,
too. And that was Patches O'Houlihan, who did not play yesterday. And I think, even though we had a 3-horse field in the opener on the program, which just happened to be a stakes event, the Grade 3 Jacques Cartier, we had the longest shot on the board who got the win, and that was Old Chestnut. Classy old dude. Now, I kind of remember, too, Jeff, knocking him back on April the 27th, because remember, he had worked 5 days out down in Florida, and then they shipped him up here and they raced him, and I thought, those old legs, they might not handle that. But I think, as Marty Drexler pointed out in the interview afterwards, he just needed some time.
Yeah, he did, and he looked a lot better yesterday. Even pre-race, he looked a whole lot better as well. Now, here comes the big price on the day, way on the far outside. This is Miss Tart. Now, Miss Tart's, and that's another one of the themes, the 3 horses that won the majority of the stake races yesterday, with the exception of Caitlin Greatness, all former claimers.
Yes.
And this is one that was claimed for, I think, $35,000 down at Gulfstream Park, and was claimed basically as a broodmare prospect, but was doing so well, they kept her in training.
And the other cool part about that I liked was that Kevin Rice, who has the horse, is based at Presque Isle, and he said, you said you've heard he does just about everything. He shoes the horse, he trains the horse, he might gallop the horse, and he shipped the horse up here yesterday too. So talk about a guy who can do a whole bunch of different things. Yeah,
Huber Villagomez aboard for the victory there. And here comes Classic Motown. There's a couple of horses that ran very well in this race. Classic Motown, and check out the horse way at the back of the pack. That's the one that Mark Cassie sent out to us, that being Webslinger, I think the horse's name is. And, that was, he made up a pile of ground there. But Classic Motown, he kind of deserved the stakes win. He had been so close to so many different occasions, and what a day for S1 Flores.
There's a horse that was collared for $25,000. Yes, S1 Flores, it was his day at the office yesterday. He won 4 races in total as we take a look at the last stake of the day, and that would be the Grade 3 Belle Mahone.
This was awesome.
Yeah, this was the one that we were all kind of waiting for, as we saw last year's King's Plate winner return in Caitlin Her Greatness, and she left us a young girl and she came back a woman.
And wasn't it so unique to see something in racing that I don't think I've ever seen before, where the Derby winner from last year and the Plate winner from last year, they did not win again until yesterday, both horses.
True,
And that was tremendous to see, but she was so good. I had a nice chat with Rafi this morning about Caitlin Her Greatness, and I said, she's like better than last year. He goes, yeah, no, she's really good. She trains really fast though now. Like, she trains really quickly in the morning. And Kevin said that, he was a little nervous because she'd been working so quickly. But where do they go next? They stay here, they go turf. What is the game plan going to be? Because there's so many options for her.
Well, and she's a WinStar horse.
Yeah.
So, she can go anywhere they want to send her. And hopefully Kevin gets to go along for the ride too. I would think so. I have a funny feeling we might see her at Saratoga this summer.
Yeah,
she'd be worth watching down there. I mean, But wow, was she ever phenomenal on yesterday's program. And once again, thank you to all our bettors yesterday. Boy, oh boy, you gave us a really great handle on the card. This morning it was cold yet again. Talked to some of our exercise riders this morning. They were saying they're still galloping in their long johns.
Yeah.
Can't believe it that we're still doing this on June the 1st. Now, Ernie rated the track a 3.5, which is I think what he rated the track as yesterday too. But he did say that the best place to be was on the inside.
And the track obviously got quicker as it moved from the morning yesterday to the afternoon yesterday, and we'll see if that trend does continue here today or not. Now, this horse to watch is a little bit of an interesting horse they gave us this morning. Indiana Road. This is like a maiden 16,000 claiming winner. Saul McHugh had the horse last year. I'm not sure who has the horse right now, but the fact that this horse grabbed his attention of all the horses working this morning, keep a notepad and write that name down because you might get a bit of a price on that.
I'm wondering who has the horse now
I
too,
don't know.
because we understand Saul McHugh's gone back home for a little bit to take care of some family business, so his horses have moved to different outfits. I see Julia Carey had one, so who knows, maybe they've moved over to that barn. Best wagering race as far as Ernie is concerned is race number 9, and you know, I would have said that yesterday. There are a few scratches from that race now, but the late double on today's program really is the highlight of today's card.
Yeah, unfortunately that 9th race has fallen apart a little bit in there, but Ernie would not have known of the scratches at the time. But there, I would say like the back half of the card from a quality point of view, extremely strong.
Yeah, so 9 races in store for you on this Sunday, and we also have another treat for you if you happen to be on track, because Jeff, we have a marching band. Jeff, you know, in high school played the trombone.
Baritone.
And, the baritone what?
The baritone, it's like a miniature tuba.
Didn't even know there was such a thing.
I was terrible at it, but that's what I played. What did you play?
Saxophone.
Oh, I wanted to play the sax.
Yeah.
My music teacher hated me though.
So today is Heroes and Horseshoes Day at the races. It's coding for veterans. And they were here last year with us too. I remember having a day for them last year as well. But they're going to provide us with a lovely marching band before race number 1 on the program. And I believe they're also going to play maybe the national anthem and the call to post.
Like it.
Yeah, so if you're here on track, it's going to be a fun way to kick off the morning. I remember, you know, I worked for Rick Cowan for quite some time. Amazing, amazing guy. He said, you know, do not, because this was for Prince of Wales one year when I was working for him, he said, do not, whatever you do not get bagpipes and bagpipe the horses onto the track.
Okay.
I said, why? He said, because it makes horses pee.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. So always think about that when we have them come out.
When I host the Sovereign Awards, we have bagpipers come in.
Absolutely. Well, you're not running to the bathroom, though,
St. Simon's there. Like, I got to worry about him. I'll have to keep an eye on him next time.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun to have them here on track. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, Jeff and I will go through the Sunday program.
Love horse racing? HPIBet.com is Canada's leader in online horse betting. Access thousands of live races from hundreds of tracks worldwide instantly. Enjoy the most advanced betting tools like AI Smart Picks and exclusive cashback rewards you won't get anywhere else. Join today and get up to $100 in free bets. Get the ultimate horse betting experience with HPIBet.com.
Race in the world. Pinch me, I think I'm dreaming.
They're off to the Dubai World Cup.
And they're into the stretch. 2 of the great races in the world. Giant Killer.
minutes to go before race number 1. We'll get started with our handicapping for the day today. Now, there is no racing on the EP Taylor Turf Course, but we are on the inner turf course a few times on this afternoon's card. Lane number 3 is where we'll be, and the turf is listed as firm. First one we're going to take a look at, Jeff, is race number 4 on the program, 1 mile and a 16th on the inner turf.
And one thing that you always bring up when we start off the turf season, and it's very prudent that you do so, is the fact that there are some horses that like particular courses and some that do not. And some will run in anything, but one horse that loves this particular tight turf course is number 7. This is it. Now the problem that I have with this is it a little bit this season is I just don't know if she's as good as she was last year. And she's been going for a while now, but all three of her turf wins have taken place on this particular turf course, as a matter of fact. She comes into a pretty key race last time at a Gulfstream. 1st, 4th, and 6th place finishers have all come back to win. I like that. But we saw this yesterday with JP Hellish. That horse, I think, had gone over the top a little bit, and I'm a little bit worried that maybe this horse has gone over the top as well. Now, the interesting runner in here is Theft, who's going to be your top pick in this race. There was a lot of buzz about this horse last season. Almost made it to the races at Woodbine. And you know as well as I do, Lisa, if you go off as the favorite down at Turfway, you're facing some pretty good competition. And she does that. And you know what? It breaks my heart to say this. We don't have a lot of Kitten's Joys anymore.
No.
But what is he? He's very good synthetic stallion, but he's an awesome turf stallion as well.
And the mare's a Tappet. So, you know, there's some beautiful pedigree with this filly, Theft. The other thing, too, is you've got to consider here at Woodbine the Turfway factor, because boy, oh boy, is it ever working. Like yesterday, I know it was through a disqualification, but we still got a winner with a Turfway runner, and that was Katerina Vasileva's horse, Cabernero, back in race number 5 on the program.
Somebody had it.
There you go.
You had a good day yesterday, but very good day
yesterday. We'll see if we bounce today. All right, next topic is the stretch out, and that comes up for us in race number 5 on the card, a maiden special weight. Now, this one going 2 turns, 1 mile and a 16th, with just a smaller group, only 6 to compete in here. But we have some horses stretching out to travel around 2 turns for the very first time, one of which will be the favorite, and that is William T, who goes out for Don McRae.
This is an important day for a bunch of horses that are 3-year-olds. You've got one going post for Safi Joseph coming up a little bit later on, and William T coming up in this spot because they're Canadian-bred 3-year-olds, and you want to see exactly what you've got. Because we all know about the big races coming up, and this was a clocker horse when he last ran back on May the 3rd, and he finishes a very respectable second on this day. The 6 in this spot, that is Garden of War, comes out of this event to absolutely crush against maiden horses next time out. Now, if you're trying to figure out the pedigree with this one and how the horse is going to handle the stretch outs, well, this is a Frosted out of a hard spun mare. The mare is an Anderson bred horse that has got the Anderson pedigree all over the place. It's a half to Blue Heart and Financial Recovery horse stakes winners. But just, I love the way this horse is traveling late in the race. And the winner was just a little bit too tough, who was Winter Train, that being Lucky Guess. Now here comes the stretch and distance. I find it interesting, and I wanted to ask you about this. They make that equipment change off a good run as the blinkers come off. Do you think maybe Donnie just saying, the stretch out, we got to get the horse maybe to relax a little bit?
Absolutely, because I think if those blinkers are on, you don't want to burn your engines on the front end, right? So taking those blinkers off might get this horse to relax a little bit. I think we've all gone this direction with the exception of Doug McPherson, who's using Copper Ghost in the top spot. Now this is a Trombetta horse that Rafael Hernandez is going to ride. Exits the same race as William T, where the 3rd place finisher, Garden of War, came back to easily win a maiden special weight. This guy was the 4th place finisher. I've got him in for the 2nd spot, so do you.
And they paid a lot of money for this horse too, $375,000. Speak of Anderson Farms, an Anderson Farms bred horse. And that mare, she never ran, but she's a half to a grade 1 winner named It's Tricky too. And the mare has produced Cielo d'Oro, who takes place going along. So I can see why Doug is going in that one's direction.
One little quick note, and we talked about this, Jeff and I, when we were putting together our pick 4 for the afternoon. Guess whose barn's been hot so far this year? It's Krista Cole. She's hit the goalpost a couple of times with horses at really big prices.
Yeah, you're right. She reminds me a little bit of the Catherine Day Phillips barn. They've been running well, but just not quite good enough to win. And
big moves up.
And poor Wyoming Bill just lost a heartbreaker yesterday.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
Yeah.
Alrighty, next thing we're going to talk about comes up for you in race number 6 on the program. We're going to go 2 turns again on the main track. This time we're looking at optional $40,000 claimers, and we've got a better group. We do have a field of 9 here in this spot. You'll see a dropper here from the Kevin Attard barn, that being Perry Winkle, and we talked about this yesterday. He's dropping some horses in. The one that he dropped in yesterday, Pierre, Now we understand why, right? Because the horse kind of was flat again yesterday. I kind of thought this Josie Carroll horse could be a player in here, More Money Honey.
And the thing that I like about your horse is proven going around 2 turns. I don't know if Periwinkle wants to go 2 turns. I'm kind of not sold on that, but we're going to find out here. And as you said, you get the drop down class. We like 2 price plays. We'll let you get to More Money Honey in a couple of seconds, but I'm going to pick Just a Gem because she was going okay, but what really turned things around for her was 2 turns last season. And I think that's exactly what she wants to do now. She gets a chance to go from 7/8 around 2 turns. And her comeback race wasn't all that bad. So we're going to use, I'm not going to spoil our pick 4 ticket, but we're definitely using that one. And tell us about More Money Honey.
Well, you know, Josie had a nice winner on the program yesterday, Megalodon, and that was with Rafi doing the riding. Now it's Fraser Abley, and he seems to be one of her go-to riders there. But I just thought, you know, we already have a start going 7/8 of a mile. We were winter raced. Finished second down there on the grass, but you know that Shifty horse is a pretty nice horse. Not a Trouble is a stakes placed horse this season as well for Willie Armada. So I'm just hoping we get, you know, a little bit stronger here today. Second start off.
And you know what too? Like I think that's a significant drop in class for More Money Honey too. Like we're in a much easier spot here today. So that's a huge plus in there. So you know, you've got others in that race that I think have to step up to win. I don't know about Jimmy's Affair going around 2 turns. I'm a little bit curious about that one. I think the scratch Nikita's Gem's a pretty big one on the outside. I think that horse had a shot in this race. I had that one in my top 4, and now that one won't be able to come and play here. So we're trying to find some prices, you and I, here coming up in race number 6. I think it's just that type of race. Yeah,
it feels like it, doesn't it? So the 6th race on the program will be where we kick off the late pick 4 on the afternoon's program. As we flip over to race number 7. The 7th race is on the inner turf course at 7.5 furlongs. A reminder, we're in lane 3 and the surface is listed as firm. Katerina Vasileva, we saw her in the winner's circle yesterday. She combined with that win with Rafael Hernandez back in race number 5 on the program. She sends out Piper's Factor here, who's a pretty nice horse from her outfit.
And getting better. You know, that's the thing too. You know, ran down at Churchill and was a very good 4th in a tough stake race. Was 19-1 on that day. Gets back onto Lasix in here today. Certainly the horse can handle turf. Ran the Toronto Cup and was able to win on that day. Beat Swift Delivery when Swift Delivery was really good. Dresden Rowe was in that race, beat Dresden Rowe, so that's obviously a huge plus. Poor Society's Thunder lost a heartbreaker through disqualification last time out. I'm going to take a shot with Never Surprise. Shows up as a first-time gelding, and speaking of horses like this particular turf course, I jumped on this one's bandwagon after a race in which Patrick Husbands rode the horse, and they went so fast in the front end that the horse had to fall apart, and then won big and took a shot in the autumn. That didn't quite pan out. Now, Johnny C, we got Niagara Skyline. Clearly a turf horse.
Absolutely, and a horse who tries all the time. And you know what else makes me feel good too is John's already had a winner at the meet now. So, you know, he started things off on a good note, but this one makes the first start back of the season. Really nice grass horse. He's a 5-time winner on the lawn. Really, a bulk of his money has been made on the grass. We're going to include him too today in our pick 4, correct?
And what do you do with Wolfie's Dyna Ghost? Has missed a lot of time, but an American rider comes up to ride. The horse is so classy. There's no drop or anything like that. Can handle the turf. Like, do you think he needs one?
I don't know. He's been down at Keeneland getting ready. He was in Florida before that. The fact that they bring him up here makes you kind of scratch. But you know what's interesting? I wonder, does he want the Lasix that he's here for today? Because he was here for Lasix in the Grade 2 autumn when he won.
That could be a good point. That could be one of the reasons why he's up here and here.
Ran good with here for the Durham Cup. He was on Lasix for that as well. You know, if you look at those last couple of races, and I know there were some time ago he wasn't receiving Lasix, but he gets back on it here today. So the 7th race, 7, 8, 9 will be where we kick off the final pick 3 for the afternoon. As we go to race number 8, now a mile and 1/16 the distance here in an optional $50,000 claiming event. You and I both kind of scratched our heads, I guess, when it came to Salt, right? Because there was a clocker horse one morning, or at least a horse that Ernie had highlighted, maybe in morning workouts, saying, look, this horse worked with Salt, and, you know, bada boom, and that horse did not show up. And then we thought, well, then is Salt going to do the same thing? We're just not sure what to do with this one here today. I do like her. I just think we could try to bet against her, and I'm wondering if Cassie's horse Smudge is the one, because, I mean, Smudge has raced against some pretty nice horses, including Nitrogen from his own outfit.
And Smudge on the synthetic was able to beat a decent field at Gulfstream back on January the 19th. Double Velocity. This is the horse that I want to kind of focus in on in here because, you know, it's during the springtime and you and I were kind of watching races, dreaming of the season that's ahead, and we'll highlight the horse for you right there. And there's a look at Double Velocity, who is on the inside. And whenever Roger has a horse in the springtime, I always like to bet them. But I said, you know what, I'm going to take a pass on this one. Oh boy, was I ever kicking myself afterwards. Big, beautiful horse. Took this one a little while to get going in here. And watch how green this horse is here. You can see it's just laying in all the way down the lane. But this horse ran so well and impressed so many people. Roger got an offer. I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse. And he couldn't refuse it. And he sold the horse. He bred the horse and he sold the horse. And now it's trained by Safi Joseph. Ran at Churchill last time. It had a wide trip, a bad draw, and kind of laid a bit of an egg. So I think the thinking with Safi is, listen, we've got a Canadian bred 3-year-old. If she runs well in the synthetic, we know the game plan for the season. If she doesn't, then we regroup a little bit in here. So I think it's a major test for Double Velocity here today.
Roger's going to be cheering because he'll get the Breeders' Awards, right? So that's an interesting thing to talk about. You know, we were talking about Groot, the horse that was the reference is, about Salt, the reference is Groot.
Right, who did not run well.
From Thursday.
Good memory.
Yeah, no, that's not me. That's Mike, our producer, talking in my ear. He's a good guy. He has a good memory today. So yeah, race number 8 again, where we kick off the late double on the afternoon's card. The last race, of course, is the 9th, and that'll be a optional 50 on the turf. And you know, I know we're not really going to discuss this race. Oh, are we? Yeah, we are going to discuss this race. Yeah, it changes quite a bit, you know, because there's a few scratches. Journeyman, they're all vets too. Journeyman, Fly the W, Midnight Mascot, scratch out of this race, and then of course the main track only horse, Lac Makaza. But the horse that brought us all the Swifties is back here today, and that's Swift Delivery. It doesn't look like the same ownership, does it?
No.
Than it was last start out when the football guy, Travis Kelce, bought into the horse.
Guy.
You know, I had to think for a minute. Because I'm Taylor Swift's boyfriend. What's his name again? Yeah, that was actually kind of a funny day when the horse raced in was it the Toronto Cup?
Yep.
And this whole place was full of little girls hoping that Taylor Swift would be here to watch this horse race. And he's so cool. Like, I know, you know, the first 2 races were really the best, like when he broke his maiden and when he came back, because it's the way he does it. He's like a heartbreak kitty.
Yeah.
You just bite all your fingernails off watching him.
And that's the problem with this race. A lot of the closers in this race are the best horses in here. You got Bail Us Out. That likes to come from off the pace. Gas Me Up likes to come from off the pace. I'll tell you, when Gas Me Up came to Woodbine off a long, long layoff, I didn't know what to do with him, but he took a lot of money on this day. And he beat a really good field in the process in here, and he comes from a very difficult position to win this race. And I remember watching the race. You and I were outside actually watching the race because it was such a beautiful day on this day. And I said, who is this horse making this move? Because watch this, we're on the inside, and eventually, I don't know how, Rafi gets towards the outside with this horse. So right here is our subject horse. And just watch, Rafi's trying, where do I go? Where do I go? I can't split. Waiting. Now we finally get a chance to go, and the horse pulls off a victory. Now, obviously, Elisa, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out this horse has got some issues, because you raced 4 times in 2022, you missed entire 2023, you raced once in 2024, and now you return today. So, you know, if he's 100% fit and ready to go in here, I think Gas Me Up could do some damage with that wicked turn of foot.
Well, the interesting thing is we'll have speed courtesy of Makwa, but remember, Makwa couldn't get to the front end last start out because Essex Serpent took total control of that race right from the beginning. I think today Makwa will get a chance to go to the front end. And Huntmaster makes the first start today in the Dave Borsk outfit after being claimed for $50,000. And, you know, he could be forwardly placed too.
Do you think Robert might have visited Huntmaster despite the change in location?
Yeah, absolutely. And now, you know, and now he's got to make friends with Dave Borsk and Lisa McAllismith, who are lovely people, and I'll probably enjoy having him come by the barn to visit. 15-1. I don't know if the Reunited is really actually Robert reuniting.
Yeah. Although
with
Hunt was
Huntmaster.
pretty relaxed in that photo. He looked like he was pretty happy too to see Roberts.
Robert, it's you.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, remember we were saying he might try and fit him in his condominium because he wanted him to, be his new pet.
That's right.
So yeah, race number 9. How we wrap things up on the afternoon's card. What else do we got to talk about? Well, we have to talk about our plays of the day.
Yes.
Hey, yesterday we had a pretty good day with some of our plays. What do you have in the top today?
So my core specialist is This Is It. My price play is going to be Just a Gem. We touched on that one. My best bet comes up on race number 8. Didn't touch much on this horse, but this is a little frisky. I like the fact this is a 4-year-old taking out a bunch of 3-year-olds in here, and ran in 3 consecutive stake races last season. It gets into a bit of an easier spot, and my layout threat will be Gas Me Up coming up in race number 9 on the program. Kevin's got a very strong 1-2 punch while I'm on the other Kevin Attard horse in that race when he gets the clock report.
My phone is blowing up because I didn't know Travis Kelce's name. See,
That's pretty embarrassing.
Here's the thing, it's not necessarily my sport. This is it.
Yeah, but you know Taylor Swift.
Wow.
You're a Swiftie.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you
are.
No.
I'm not. Drop and Pop angle goes to Limoncello Spritz, which I'm going to have about 10 of those after the races tonight. Dark Danger is my fit to win horse. He's making the 3rd start in the form cycle. Piper's Factor, of course, Beware. Don't leave this one out of your exotics. And Smudge is the horse I'm going to watch in race number 8, making the Woodbine debut. Did you tonight? If Limoncello Spritz just happens to win, I'd like you to try one. You'll love it. You'll love it.
Does it taste like lemonade?
Sweet. Yeah, no, you'll love it. You'll love it.
All right.
Dark Danger, top selection today from Doug McPherson.
Oh, that one best bet between those two.
Yes.
Ooh.
And captivating name. Well, there's an exactor for you to play in race number 3 if you'd like to follow along with those guys. Perry Winkle is the beat the fave for our Woodbine TV producer who shall remain nameless.
So let me ask you this question.
Uh-oh. No, it better not be about football.
No, it's not about football. It's not about football. Say I get a phone call, and it's like, hey, Jeff, it's Taylor. I'm like, hey, Taylor, what's up? And she's like, do you and Lisa want to come out for dinner with me and Travis?
Well, yeah, he's
wouldn't
paying.
come.
Yeah, I'm not going to McDonald's,
Well, how do
that's
you
for
know
sure.
who's paying?
Well, I'm not. You're no way. Listen, steak and lobster, I'll go with anybody.
There you go. That's how you get to Lisa's heart. Steak and lobster.
Yes, that's right. 30 minutes on the clock before race number 1 on today's program as we take a look at the clocker horse for the day today, too, courtesy of Ernie Perry. He's got No Time for Mark Cassie, who will come up in race number 8 on the program. Worked with Winterberry, but geez, Winterberry kind of backed up in that comeback race, so I don't know. Bail us out for Kevin Attard, but it's always Ernie picking a Kevin horse. If it's not, lately, if it's not horses that he's putting up in his clocker report, he's talking about them for morning workouts.
Yeah.
Like he's really spotting these Kevin Attard horses and giving us heads up on some of those ones when they show up in the entries. Even my mother is texting me now
See,
to
Beth
tell me
knows.
about.
Beth knows.
How do I not know this? This brain can only fit so much information in it, and it's
But
tired.
you are a good pop culture person. Like
Generally,
yeah. Like
name that
pretty,
tune, like
you
Take
pretty
Me.
much know what's going on with everything. You're like, Jeff, how do you not know that?
All right, we'll see if we can know some winners for you on today's program as well. Just now 29 minutes to go before the opener, and enjoy it because we have a lovely marching band to kick off the day today. Good luck.